Yes, it's cleanup time. Welcome everybody to the Journeyman Project Pegasus Prime,
you are due
the last official video of looking at the game. Today what we're going to do is look at a whole bunch of things that I have not covered in the game. And how we're going to do it today is we're going to look at the difficulty mode that I have not even spoken about. Walkthrough mode. What is walkthrough mode? Well, it's actually not all that different from adventure mode, which is the standard difficulty for the game. The only real thing that walkthrough mode adds is a solve button on the artificial intelligence biochip, right down near where the hints are.
Place hand on scanner for ID verification.
Now, on top of the hints, you'll also sometimes get the solve button appearing.
Has just malfunctioned. Recommend that you locate the circuit breaker to reinstate the power.
What the solve button does, in certain circumstances, not all, will help you bypass any puzzle and just solve it instantly. This includes some puzzles that involve combinations of items, or no items at all. There are also some lines that I did not cover.
No temporal anomaly detected. No mission currently authorized. Access denied.
Yeah, so there's a couple of lines in the elevator shaft in case you have no need to go there, or you don't have the necessary items.
Historical log access key not detected. Access denied. Pegasus biochip implant not detected. Access denied. Prior to departure.
The other thing that walkthrough mode does is in all of the interactive sequences, all of the input commands are removed. So this means that in any interactive sequence, whether it be in NORAD or Mars, you just get to sit back, relax, and look at everything that is happening. It's pretty similar to the original Pegasus Prime, which did not have the interactive features enabled. You also get to see all of the animations, if there are any, because in terms of the default path that is set for the game, that's where it decides to go. I'm actually not entirely sure if you put on walkthrough mode and did this, you would get the achievement for breaking through all the barriers in the Mars colony. So, here is the example of not needing any items in order to solve puzzles. You needed the nitrogen in the power crowbar. I had neither. You can also use it to get rid of the mastermind puzzle entirely.
The explosive device has been disarmed. It is now safe to remove the explosive device.
See, I'm a master of puzzles. I'm also a master of science because I don't want to do it.
If you imagine the shape of the structure as a group of letter-shaped objects, the compound appears to spell out O, J, I, D, C, Y.
Yeah, but I don't need that.
An additional item that is not in your inventory may be of use in this situation. It is statistically possible that a potentially useful item could be found in another time zone. Use the crowbar found in the Mars colony to pry open the door.
However, walkthrough mode does not solve all of your problems. You do need the crowbar in order to get through here, because it won't open by itself. It's kind of weird how it decides to just kind of do that, but I don't know, it can't hold your hand forever. Sometimes the solve button is completely pointless, like in the case of the oxygen mask for the sleeping gas. It's pretty much just another button that you could hit instead of going to the oxygen mask and doing it. Now, when I did NORAD in my main playthrough, I pretty much showed off the screen as it was in the kind of the original version. In the Steam version specifically, I'm not sure if it's in the GOG version just yet, they actually revamped the screens of NORAD Station completely. I believe this was from the PlayStation version of the game. Which, to be honest, is like a godsend because it's way easier to comprehend and understand because the the layout, how the screen moves, is phenomenally better. Do I really need to do a briefing now? I'm not entirely sure, but here you can actually get an understanding of, like, okay, here is where you are. You actually have an idea. Swooping, panning cameras. There should be Mission Impossible side music here. Just like, this is the briefing, this is the plan, here are the blueprints, let's do it. For me, it gets a better understanding of the overall map of NORAD 6 that we actually don't get to see officially. Not only do they do it for Alpha Station, but they also do it for Delta, which we will be going to as well. Pretty similar map, though, but oh well. Plus, you can scroll through all of the videos in order to get to the back. So that's also good. Now, there's that one screen, but in the Steam version, they actually got a couple of other NORAD screens in order to function, because they were previously not functioning in the older versions of the game. For instance, this is in the subdock bay, specifically for the Alpha Station Center. That's redundant. You actually get to get a little bit more information about the sub bay and what you're able to do there.
Warning, all personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Warning, all personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Warning, all personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system.
Not only is this in Alpha Station, but it is also in Delta as well. So that is also cool as well.
Warning, all personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system.
Specifically in these screens as well, you get an idea of what Poseidon had to do specifically in order to get here, as well as seeing that the security information is up and running and also up to date. Seeing that, oh yeah, we have a damaged sub in here, especially when it got blown to bits afterwards. Next up we have the launch prep sub.
Launch prep detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Def sub 4 damaged. Repairs required. Launch canceled.
Specifically from Delta Station. Didn't show that off. Alright, so, if you remember from Turbo, if you were to walk out into the corridor, you had to be prepared to get blasted by Poseidon, because he was waiting by the corridor. Well, it turns out, if you are fast enough in the corridor, you can see Poseidon leaving. Unfortunately, he doesn't shoot at you. Alright, so Mars time. What happens if you miss the final input and don't go into the accelerator tube? Well, one, you miss an achievement, And 2, the Ares decides to just go, hey, let's do another lap. Why not? I don't really get it myself, but I guess it would be a little bit more dull if Ares wasn't there.
Energy charge level too low.
Now, there are some things in Pegasus Prime that I did not do, specifically Gandhi bonus.
Target ship
I just
neutral.
blew up Ares, which is technically a correct way of ending the time period, even though you don't get Ares biochips by doing so. So you miss out on the optical memory and the other biochips that he has. So you don't get his shield biochip specifically. What does this mean? Well, it's a slight detriment from when you continue on, but oh well.
Looks like the lead shuttle has locked its graviton cannon on the alien vehicle. Estimated time to arrival, 10 minutes.
The other thing is that if you actually do literally wait 10 minutes, which is
Energy damping beam.
a little bit harder to do because you have to keep shooting debris, eventually 10 minutes will go by and Ares will, well, blow up the alien ship. And congratulations, you failed the time period. You get jumped back immediately and you have to do it again. So, don't do that. Now, in walkthrough mode, there are some cases where it will skip having to have necessary items in order to get to it. In terms of biochips specifically, solving it might give you just the biochip. In this case, very specifically, it will give you the retinal biochip, which can be missable. Actually, no. No, it can't be missable because Mercury has it on the World Science Center. But if you really want to completely do things in a completely different order, this is another way to do it.
Launch imminent. Abort launch sequence from manual override terminal only.
I personally don't like geography, so I'm just gonna solve it.
Exceeded. All silos deactivated.
I just like spinning the globe.
The only good human is a dead human.
So if you've looked at the score for Pegasus Prime at any time, even at the end of the game, there is a Gandhi bonus, which is worth 30 points. 10 points for each peaceful way you deal with one of the robots. In terms of Poseidon, the lethal way of getting rid of the robots is to increase the pressure of the door all the way up to high in order to completely crush him. They really are made of pop cans. I wonder if they just kind of crinkled pop cans in order to get that sound effect. So yes, there is a peaceful way of doing it and a lethal way of doing things.
Agent 5, recommend that you proceed with the removal of the robot's biochips before initiating auto recall.
Warning. All personnel. Emanation detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Warning. All personnel. Emanation detected in NORAD.
Really good that we get the retinal biochip now, even though we don't need it anymore. Good job. But Poseidon did need it, so makes sense. So we can blow up Ares, we can crumple Poseidon. In terms of Mercury, it's a little bit weird in order to figure out his non-lethal way, because it's actually the cord on the right side of the screen. What we're able to do with it is just pretty much click on it, and we will instinctively use it in order to electrocute the catwalk and short-circuit him.
Agent 5, recommend that you proceed with the removal of the robot's biochips before initiating auto recall.
In terms of walkthrough mode, it will take the lethal way, as far as I know, and tested with. So there's all of the lethal ways in order to get rid of the robots, but there's still one thing I wanted to test. Crossfire on the Steam community actually posted a glitch that happened in NORAD. And it involved specifically the gas canister here.
Where do you put the top? Normally, Gage, I would tell you not to touch anything while you're in a store, but you're older now. Go ahead.
So we take the gas canister because we're not supposed to.
Help me, Gage! I'm losing it! Hope we didn't forget anything.
And what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much get incarcerated. Because why not? Alright. Buddy, get up!
Get your hands in the air!
Ah, good. Okay, good take. Good take. Everybody, good take, right? Good. When we hit continue, we actually get thrusted a couple of moves back, and we still have the gas canister in hand. If we decide to head back into the valve intake station, and look down here, there's another gas canister there. Yeah, so there's a weird duplication glitch that happens here. If we were to take the gas canister and put it in our inventory, it pretty much is like blending a paradox together, and it'll only become one. But we can hit the intake mode, which makes the warning appear again, which means that the sleeping gas is in effect. And this is something I learned that was really interesting about the game, is because the death isn't the fact that you have the gas canister in hand, it's more about the alarm, and that is the flag that the game looks for. At least, I think so. I want to believe so, because when we head back and go across, now that the warnings are going, the guard does not wake up, which means we have successfully gone further into NORAD with the gas canister. The bigger question I had on my mind at that point is, how far could we get into NORAD with the gas canister? So I decided to play through the entire area again. Because recalling still doesn't work. Because recalling will look at your inventory and go, oh, you have the gas canister in here? No, you can't do that. Okay, fine. So, going through the entire place, which I believe takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you want to be. Heading all the way back, and I decided to do it in a non-lethal way just because it's me.
Recommend that you proceed with the removal of the robot's biochips before initiating auto recall.
All personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system.
We should take it. Maybe it'll provide us with some information.
Warning, all personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system.
Still have the gas canister in hand. Poseidon's gone. Alright, so now we're gonna jump back. Okay. Alright, we still have the gas canister. This is interesting.
We could use a little adventure.
Yeah, we still have it. Description, overlay, everything, okay. The game's not gonna go crazy on me because I have an inventory item that I'm not supposed to have. Good. At first I was thinking that the game was gonna crash in any moment because it's going like, what is this? I don't understand. But no. Apparently, we're all good to go to have a non-essential item that we can't do anything with, that we're forbidden from leaving a time period with. And now we can go ahead and complete the rest of the game with it in hand. It's there, it's usable, it's real. It's there. Alright. So, this is pretty much the only weird glitch you can really do in the game that is worth anything. And since you can't do anything with it, you might as well not even bother. Especially because I don't really like bombs either, so I might as well just solve it out of the way. Geez, if the gas canister was like an alternate way of taking down Sinclair, that would be really cool. Just kind of use it as a fire extinguisher and just blast a bunch of gas in his face. But there we go. That is pretty much all of the things that I wanted to cover in this cleanup video for Pegasus Prime. There are a lot of other things to look at, including additional lines, other things like that, but that would take a whole lot of time, and these pretty much were the most crucial out of all of them. So, this is it for the game in general. We have one last very special video that is not essentially Pegasus Prime related, and I hope you go ahead and enjoy that. See you next time, everyone, and take care!